mean for you? So I think rather than waiting for all of our kind of big Hosea moments, I think what we might actually have to look forward to is lots of tiny uncomfortable moments of obedience, obedience means basically just following God, that lead to beautiful things happening in the world. So Stephanie Gretzinger, who's this kind of worship artist, she says this really good thing, which is that she says the whole Christian life is the process of undoing. So that basically means that the whole Christian life is kind of like that process of being Professor Xavier in that really uncomfortable moment, just, following God, and it's really hard, but you just keep pressing through, and it's just like, despite all the resistance you feel, just keeping on, stepping forward. I'm gonna have to post a picture of this so everyone knows what I mean. And yeah, there's lots of stuff in the Bible to back this up. So Jesus told the disciples, if you love me, you will obey my commands. And there are really good challenges in the Bible to live by around this thing of loving God in practice and the commands that are linked to that. So I'll just read out the three. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. Second one is seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all other things will be added to it. And the third one is pick up your cross and follow me, which we covered a couple of weeks ago. And all of those things might just seem like empty words until you really dig into them. But basically the gist is that, loving him kind of means you have to let go of other stuff. Essentially, you can't love God with everything, all your soul, all your mind. Think about all the stuff that occupies your heart and your mind. That it does involve a bit of sacrifice, a little bit of discomfort. So yeah, and I think if we're truly measuring our lives by heaven's priorities, then we shouldn't hesitate to obey, even when it's uncomfortable. And I think it's totally normal to feel that discomfort. And I think, a lot of like awesome people that are Christians and kind of like role models for some of this stuff will tell you that literally till the very end, it has been uncomfortable. Like even 10 years on, Wendy Mann is a really good example of this. She always kind of does like going out onto the street and like sharing encouraging messages with people, but she still feels uncomfortable 10 years on. She started this journey quite a while ago. And just give another example really. A really good friend of mine who was my housemate at uni, when a group of us were out on a prayer walk around the campus at the uni, she basically felt like she heard God asking her to kneel down and worship him, like physically kneel down on the floor, literally in the open. And it wasn't just once on this walk, it was like a couple of times. I think it was 3 times overall. And basically none of us joined her because it wasn't kind of like a weird ritual. We didn't feel that we needed to do that, but we honoured that she was going on an adventure with the Lord and growing in obedience. And that was kind of a really important journey, a step in her journey for just really, I don't know, you might ask, like, where does it say in the Bible that you need to do that? I think that we just need to start paying attention to learning to listen to God's voice. It says, my sheep hear my voice in the Bible. They won't hear the voice of a stranger. All of that stuff. We need to just try and practice. We'll get it wrong, but we need to practice obeying, essentially. And so all of this is just about listening closely, just obeying God and sticking close to God no matter what it looks like. And that's basically the principle across everything. There's a really good line in the Bible where it says, where Ruth, her mother-in-law's Naomi, and her because her husband's died, so she's kind of gone to live with her mother-in-law, which is what they did back in the day. But she says to Ruth, to Naomi, where you go, I'll go. Where you stay, I'll stay. And that's kind of an amazing word. It kind of there's a deeper meaning to it. It's supposed to be about our lives with God and actually how we should just be willing to go on adventure with him wherever he calls, uncharted waters, all that stuff. Just wherever you go, I'm going to go, God. So my final thing to say is just let's all just say that to the Lord for this week and for the rest of our lives, that where you go, I'll go.